This is Papa Smurf. You're listening to Our Lifestyle, the podcast, with ODB and the mayor.
Yo, it's ODB, Our Lifestyle podcast, and we want to remind you that Bayou Showdown is going down later this year in Slidell, Louisiana at the Harbor Center. That's 100 Harbor Center Boulevard, again in Slidell, Louisiana. Bayou Showdown is November 20th and 21st. It's the weekend before Thanksgiving, so get on out and support the scene, including Custom Cars Show Productions in conjunction with Mr. Sean Randall. Bayou Showdown, November 20th and 21st, Slidell, Louisiana. Check that hashtag, Bayou Showdown, or Facebook, Bayou Showdown, for more information. Yo, it's Our Lifestyle Podcast, episode 260. 260, we're so stoked for another episode, and this one is a SEMA 2021 preview, so we've got a jam-packed episode. I want to thank, you heard Bayou Showdown, shout out at the top. Big ups to them, can't wait for the show. It is the weekend before Thanksgiving. Of course, that's November in Slidell, Louisiana, as you had heard. But we also want to thank Mini Truck Showdown, one of our new title sponsors, and this event is going down in Vegas June 3rd through the 5th. So, ironically enough, we're getting ready to go to Vegas next week. However, in 5 months or so will be June, and the first weekend in June we'll be out in Vegas again. Mini Truck Showdown. Cannot wait. So like I said, we're so excited for Mini Truck Showdown. Make sure you follow them, Instagram, Facebook. It's going down again first weekend in June 2022. But we got a special guest on. Before we get going with this jam-packed episode, I got to get right into saying what's up to Biggity Mike, because I thought he was going to gallivant right on out of this week, but he's been out there hustling, huh, Mike?
Bro, always hustling. No breaks, dog. It's that busy time right now. All my customers are coming back, getting their shit ready for them. And, dude, life is good. I can't complain. And making that bread, man, that's all I can say. And I'm just glad to be able to be on here with you and in the Airhead Nation. And shit, I've been waiting all week for this damn question. I know there's got to be a question you're going to be asking me. I think I'm 3-0. And, bro, I just can't wait to go 4-0 because, bro, I am doing horrible in my fantasy league. In the Airhead Nation Fantasy League this year, I'm still in last place. Trash Bag Mazda, Robbie Williams, he fucking, god damn it, I thought I was going to beat him this week, and he squeaked by, barely beat me, but hey, a win's a win, and Brad's still in there talking shit, just as lucky as can be. I didn't realize that I can't call it cheating. I just can call it a way of around the rules. And he found a way, and he's definitely taken advantage of it. So good for you, Brad. You're still wrong, but good for you, Brad. and Ron, good old Ron, Hammer Weekend Wear. I think he lost again this week too. And fucking Jeremy, Goat, Hot Rides, Mag, Made a Steel Show, whatever the hell you want to call the guy.
Drop.
He fucking toy drop. I mean, lifted truck show. The guy's doing it all, man. He lost this week, so he still sucks. I don't care how much
new. I mean, if you say Goat lost, I mean, really, what's new? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly. Bah, Goat lost. What a shocker! What a shocker!
Well, listen, hey, Hank and Ron, they don't really care about fantasy now because the Final Fantasy game you guys play, like the controllers and stuff, because they're so excited about the cards. And I told them, their next game's going to be a loss. And then Ron said, well, hopefully the next time they lose is not until a Sunday, because I think it's the Monday night game, dude, with the pack. So just saying.
Yes. Well, no, it's not Monday night. It's Thursday night, homie. And all your damn wide receivers for the Green Bay Packers are all out with COVID.
Dude, so do not tell me that, dude. Don't use the C word around me, bro.
Dude, I'm telling you, those cunts, man. They, that damn cunt, that cunt. Oh wait, dude. I mean not that C word. My bad.
Yeah,
you might want to edit that out.
So listen, man, before you get too spun out, everybody that's tuned in, again, this is the SEMA,
spun out, dog.
the SEMA 2021 preview. We do have a jam-packed episode. I'll cover that in a minute. But Mike, dude, I know you're busy this week. I'm getting ready to do some more audio with the homies. I got to throw the trivia over to you, brought to you by All Time Low Magazine. We tell you guys time and time again, atlmagazine.com. What's the website, Mike?
Dude, it's atlmagazine.com.
Go out there, subscribe. They do have one issue available. You can buy individual issues, issue 28, or just subscribe. A little bit higher price than a typical magazine. A lot of pages, well produced, and you can subscribe bi-monthly, y'all. atlmagazine.com. So, Mike, last week I was talking about 2 questions and this and that. I mean, I'm going to start to ratchet them up a little bit. So I kind of feel like if you could pull this one off, I'll say we're even. You know what I'm saying? Like Steven.
Even like Steven. Is that like Steven Spielberg?
Spielberg. You've seen him. He produced that movie Paws or something like that with the crazy animals.
He produced a lot of movies, homie. He produced a lot of movies. Yeah. All right, homie. Well, let's get to it, man. Because I tell you what, the anticipation's killing me here,
dude. So this TV show debuted in '83, 3 seasons only. Okay, it did. So don't get too far ahead of yourself. It did star a famous vehicle. Okay, and this vehicle, the premise of the show was kind of an action crime drama series, and it had a judge in it, and it had an ex-con that was a race car driver, and I think his nickname, if I remember correctly, in the show was Skid. Okay, and he was a race car driver, and the judge of the show, which was the main guy, he was kind of a hard ass. You know what I'm saying? And this show, again, had a car in it with a very cool name that was named after an animal, I guess you could say. Not Mike Murray animal. I know that's not a lot to go on.
Bro, you didn't just give me shit. First of all, you realize I was born in 77, right? And you realize in 83, I don't even think we had a color TV, bro. I was so fucking poor. We didn't even have a colored TV. So it was in black and white. So you could have told me that this car was red, and I would have had no idea what you were talking about. But before I do answer this question was sponsored by Eastbound Get Down Car and Truck Show, January 21st to the 23rd, 2022, Destination Daytona, eastboundgetdownshow.com. Go pre-register now. Pre-registration ends December 15th.
That's how you cut a promo right there, Mike.
Bro, with that being said, 1983, the car was named after an animal. And, dude, I thought for sure when you first said car, I thought Knight Rider right away.
Right. I was like, don't get ahead of yourself, man.
That's exactly where I was going, because our boy Dizzy done threw out, Knight Rider. And bro, I'm stalling because I have no flipping idea. And I'm trying to remember back in 83, because 83, I was 5 years old, homie. 5 years old. So
the judge name was Hardcastle, and the other guy, Skid, his last name was McCormick.
Hardcastle and McCormick.
Yes.
God damn.
Yes. So we got to pull we got to pull the nose of the plane up next week. Hopefully you'll be able. Hopefully you'll return, because I know sometimes, man, these get you spun out. And again, I got to ratchet them up a little bit.
Okay, so let me ask you this: if I can get the name, the kind of car, the make and model of the car,
that could be a tick mark.
Because, dude, I remember that ugly ass paint job, that fucking stripe down the side that went up the trunk, and I was just like, oh my god, see, it's coming back.
See,
oh my god, dude. But I'll be honest with you, I think it was a Ford.
Well, I think Ford also had a vehicle named after that, but man, it definitely was something. Like, honestly, the rumor has it that Hank would drive around in one of these cars. You know what I mean? Like the towns of Missouri and some of these back roads and stuff. That was the kind of car he had. So, So
was it a Mercury Cougar? Because I know that's all Hank drives and rides is Cougars.
That's all. You're right. Dude,
Dude.
he kept talking about that. He was talking about a 79 he had. I was like, dude, I like 60s Lincolns, but the Cougars, man, that's a different level, dude. You know what I'm saying?
He kept talking about 69 and Cougars, and I thought he was talking about a 69 Cougar.
It just clicked. It just clicked.
Dude, something. I don't
he said he had an OnlyFans page, but I thought he meant like he was installing ceiling fans. Is that something different?
Oh, I thought he said he worked for Dan's OnlyFans.
Oh,
City
Dan's Fan City. Yeah, okay, my bad. I thought it was something about somebody, Hank was telling me something different, so maybe I was wrong.
He was drunk, so there's no what he was talking about when he was telling us this damn story anyway. So, but I can tell you this, it was a no, it wasn't. I don't know, it was one of those ugly-ass, big-ass, two-door cars, long motherfucker.
Yeah, Coyotes, dude.
Gold. It was gold. It was just an ugly-ass car. But, dude, my bad.
It is a Coyote, but listen, we're not going to hold this one against you. If you could somehow incorporate something from the Coyote from Hardcastle McCormick into the Mazda, you know what I'm saying? We could maybe then just work out a deal with the tick marks, in your employee binder. Because, dude, we're getting down to the end of the year. We might have to do your end of year review. Let's be honest, on the air. You know what I'm saying?
Well, bro, maybe I can incorporate that ugly ass long stripe down the side of the Mazda.
There you
like
go.
That car, because that car was ugly as fuck. But it's so.
Well, and just know that Shannon, when I had texted her and I said, "Hey, how's Mike's performance?" With the podcast lately, she wanted to make sure that it was clear that she had bagged and tagged the shirts, and she said, "Hey, I do put him in Mike's car, and he takes them to the post office, so he's got to get a point for that." So we've got that in the mix.
Yes, exactly. Well, at least I got some tick marks for something. I mean, Jesus. Hey, I do carry the boxes in because she can't carry the boxes, so those fucking boxes are shit, man. But hey, it's all good. All I know is because I know you're getting ready to go and talk with Chris and Ruben, and hats off to Chris. Fucking that build looks absolutely beautiful. Congratulations. And everybody enjoy SEMA. Have a great time. Our boy Chad Luke, congratulations on the truck getting out there, and shout out. So congratulations for that. And but have a great time. You have a great time out there representing street trucks and putting in work there. And guys, just remember Eastbound Get Down, January 21st to the 23rd.
Playoffs.
Playoffs, baby. Good old Daytona, Florida. I mean, come on, guys. All you guys up north, it's gonna be cold.
There's
as
a Buc-ee's
fuck.
there, for damn sake, like within a few miles, man.
Bro, it's right down the road. It's literally, I think, 3 or 4 exits down.
Dude, who doesn't want the beef, dude? You know what I'm saying?
Hey, it's straight on 95. You're gonna pass one in Augustine. You can pass up the show and go to the other one there in Daytona. Everybody wants Buc-ee's. Everybody loves Buc-ee's.
The beef.
It's got the best, bro. It's got the best sweet tea. I was just there last weekend.
I saw your post.
Oh, dude, they have the best sweet tea. Sorry.
Chick-fil-A.
Because our damn restaurant's closed on Sunday, so I couldn't stop there and get some damn sweet tea. So I go to Buc-ee's. Buc-ee's is always open, homie. So them and 150 fucking gas pumps. You can't go wrong at Buc-ee's.
I love it. Well, Mike, have a good rest of the week. Stay gallivanting, and then we'll link up next week. Maybe, in 2 weeks, we'll come off the top ropes, maybe a cage match deal.
Oh, absolutely. My favorite always is Hell in the Cell, man. Go wrong there. Cannot go wrong there. I think I did it last week, but I'm going to do it again. Props to our boy DJ Mays is back on Twitch, so make sure you all check out DJ Mays. He's back. COVID couldn't hold him down. Ain't nobody going to hold me down. Oh, no.
He's got to keep DJing. Gallivanting.
Oh, my bad. Yeah. So, gallivanting out.
All right, man. Take care, brother.
All right. See ya.
All right, everyone. So we're going to continue this episode again. Last episode recap. Just want to give a huge shout out to Ed Eister. Thank you so much for coming on out, and certainly appreciate him coming on to talk about his history in this Florida scene. So big shout out to Ed Eister. Go back and listen to episode 259. And this last episode recap brought to you by Lone Star Throwdown. Don't forget LST 2022 is going down in Conroe. You can go on Instagram, Lone Star Throwdown, or LoneStarThrowdown.com. Of course, the event is sold out. However, you can gallivant right on in the front gate. Also, you can transfer, I think, through February 1st. So if you've got a friend or homie, clubmate that can't make it, offer to pick it up for face value and transfer it right on over. So good stuff. All right, so what we're going to do now is, since we did the trivia with Mike, big shout out to All Time Low Magazine, I'm going to go ahead and jump right into the audio. I'm going to call Chad Luke right now. We're going to talk with him a little bit. And I guess I should stop for just a second and say, hey, this episode, we're basically doing a SEMA 2021 preview. So Mike and I had a little bit of fun there. If you're a new listener, we like to kid around and joke a lot. But on this episode, hopefully we're going to have Chad Luke. I'm getting ready to call him. We'll have Bob Hase to discuss the Mini Truck Hall of Fame and the 2020 and 2021 inductees and some future insight. Chris Burns, we're looking to link up with here shortly with Ruben Arteaga from our family out there. Chris has been a previous guest, but what I would tell you there is you can go look CS Metalworks on Instagram. Give him a follow. They just bagged a 59 Impala. What more do you need to know? They're on the rise. And then hopefully we'll be able to link up with Billy Bob, and he is going to be out at SEMA as well, the Truck in the Engaged Media booth, and would love to talk with him as well. So we'll see how it all works out. Again, jam-packed, and then we've got an awesome episode next week ready for you guys. So let's go ahead and call Chad Luke, the big homie. And thank you so much to Graphics Mafia. We always give them credit here at the overview of the episode, graphicsmafia.com. You can go out there. They'll hit you back through a DM or email. They're on TikTok. They're on Facebook. They're on Instagram. And by the way, Chad Luke just had them do his window decals for his truck that's going to be at SEMA. We're going to call him right now. All right. Enjoy. Yo. So as I mentioned, we're going to roll into audio here. Just called the big homie, Chad Luke. How's it going, my brother?
What's happening, Jay? What's going on, man?
Not a lot, man. Thank you so much for coming back. It's funny. I've been wanting to align with you since you've been on this warpath with the Toyota. And, man, thanks so much again for debuting it, back at Mini Nats, one of our favorite shows, but in that OLP booth, man. That was really awesome.
Yeah, Jay, man, look, I appreciate you having me on, man. And like I said, man, it's been a hell of a ride, man. I tell you, with the truck since Mini Nats, since debuting it. And, man, I really had a great weekend that weekend and just enjoyed myself, man, especially, getting to debut at you guys' booth and, just hanging out with everybody, man. I felt like, man, that was like a coming back for me. So it was really great, man.
Yeah, you came off the top ropes. And I mean, word is, we're working on this little kind of end of year type stuff. You know how we do at the end of the year. And, word is this truck, time, that ties into the time, right? What do you call it again? The truck name?
So it's difficult times.
Difficult times, So it's kind of in the running for some stuff. I mean, you never know.
Oh, man, that'd be great, man. That'd be great. I appreciate it, man.
Yeah, no doubt. So we're kind of doing this SEMA preview, and, dude, it's always trips me out how far people, will come with their builds, but then you got to drive across the country, right? So I know we don't want to talk about that right now, but with your truck, it's going to be at SEMA, and it's exciting to me because I went several years ago, and there was one mini truck there. It was NR Memory Loss. Okay, good dude, badass Mazda. But we've seen kind of, I don't want to say a fall off, but we haven't seen as many mini trucks at the big SEMA convention. So I was so excited to hear that you're going to be out there, man. Talk to us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so it actually, Jay, man, this is probably about, I want to say it was like the Friday after, I got back from Slamfest, man. I got a text message from a good buddy of mine that's in the club, Jim Stewart. He texted me, kind of asked me a couple questions, beating around the bush. He was, man, what's your show schedule like for the rest of the year with the truck? And I kind of told him, I said, well, I kind of got a couple shows in November. I may hit one in December out there in Georgia. I'm just really not sure. And then I was kind of debating on, December. I know Craig was kind of throwing it around, with his grand finale show and stuff like that, which is kind of local to me. So I was kind of trying to kind of stay within the confines of maybe staying in the state a little bit. Because, you know, I did a hell of a lot of traveling, man, you know, after debuting the truck and just hitting shows. And, you know, Jim told me, he said, man, well, you know, I got an opportunity for you, man. If you're willing, I know you've got some product that I had Scorpion send you that's on the truck. And we've got 2 spots actually that people have backed out, and we're actually needing a vehicle with that product, and yours is just phenomenal, and we'd love to have you at SEMA. And I told him, I said, man, let me see what I can do as far as jiggling around, man, and trying to see if I can get the truck there. And we actually, man, I called around, you know, transport companies, you know, this and that, and I'm like, well, you know what, the best thing is, I'd like to travel and bring the truck myself. I want to make that drive, you know. So me and Jim worked it out. It looks like I'm going to be heading out. By the time the listeners probably hear this, I'll probably be on the road when this comes out.
Oh yeah.
So I'm going to be leaving out Thursday morning, roughly around 2-3 o'clock in the morning, traveling towards Oklahoma. We're going to offload the truck off my trailer. We're going to put it in Jim Stewart's enclosed trailer at his shop, and we're going to make the rest of the trek. So it's about 12 hours to Jim Stewart for me, and about 17 hours from Jim Stewart to Vegas. So I'm really, really excited about it. I just never thought this kind of thing would happen with something, you know, a vehicle of mine. But obviously, man, I think I knocked it out of the park with the Toyota. So I'm excited, man.
Dude, we're excited for you. You know, you talk about, like when Eminem talked about seize the moment, you know, you only got one shot, right? Sometimes when these things come up, you got to seize the moment. You know, you got to, you know, obviously you probably have that little bit of rush of like, damn, you know, time off, funds, family, you know, holidays, all that stuff. But then when you start thinking about it, you go, man, what an opportunity. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure you check with your, you know, your better half, and she goes, yo, make it happen. You know what I'm saying? So I'm sure it was, you know, it's excitement.
Well, I'm going to tell you, Jay, you just nailed it because, you know, dude, you have actually taken the words completely out of my mouth on that. I was fixing to tell you. And I'm telling you, I was debating it myself because of vacation time.
Sure.
I had to look at my job, my daytime job. You know, I was actually on call this week for work, which is a 7-day call. You know, I'm on call from Sunday to, you know, Monday to Sunday, I'm sorry. Mm-hmm. And I was able to talk to, you know, one of the guys that I work with and actually swap call outs so I can do this. And he's like, man, look, you got this opportunity. You need to take it. You know, you need to go. And I was doubting it. I was like, man, I don't know if I want to do it. So I get home and I present this all to my wife. And my wife,
sure.
she says, man, let me tell you something. She said, I know what that truck means to you. I know the work that you put into it. And, you know, the world deserves to see that truck at a place like SEMA.
Yes.
She goes,
yeah.
she goes, if you pass this up, and Jay, I'm telling you, dude, she says, if you pass this up, this opportunity, she said, you're going to hate yourself for the rest of your life. I'm telling you. I know this is huge for you. So she pushed me, man. And she, you know, she's like, look, you had the pedal stomped all year since you debuted. Don't lift up on the pedal now.
Yeah. Yeah, because, you know, it's going to open other opportunities potentially, and it is a big step, you know. It's, you know, it's a commitment, but it sounds like you got the team involved because, you know, the homie that hits you up, you know, he goes, yo, come to my place, we'll link up, boom, we'll transfer it. So again, all the stars are kind of aligning, as my dad would say, and many others. But talk to us a little bit about the placement of where it's at, maybe the booth number and things like that.
So the truck's actually going to be in the West Hall, which is, from my understanding, like, it's been a couple of years since I've been to SEMA. So the West Hall is, I think, a new hall that's connected, I guess, over the other side of the boulevard where the Sky Bridge is at. It's going to be in the Scorpion booth, Scorpion Coatings and Window Films booth. Since I'm running their bed liner on inside the bed, it's on the firewall, behind the back wall of the bed. You know, it's under the tubs, so it's a complete coating setup. And, you know, back then when I was, you know, trying to get the truck finished, building the truck, I reached out to Jim Stewart and told him, man, look, you know, I'm hearing really great things about the Scorpion coatings, and, you know, man, I'm having to re-sheet metal my whole entire bed, and I want to go back with like a color match bed liner. And he says, I tell you what, I'm going to go ahead and send you everything you need to get this job done. So, man, Jim sent it out, and I'm like, hey, man, send me your PayPal. You know, let me shoot you some funds. You know, I'm not expected free, anything like that. Next thing you know, Jim's like, hey man, just shoot me your address and I'm going to see if I can get a label made. 2 days later, dude, I've got a huge box on the front of my doorstep.
Nice.
From Scorpion Coatings. Dude, it was like 4-gallon kit, the gun, the big hopper gun to spray it, all the release agent and stuff like that for the gun. I mean, dude, it had everything you needed to spray this. Really, really great product. Sprays really awesome. The coverage is great. I mean, dude, I couldn't have asked for anything better with Scorpion, man. I'm telling you.
Yeah, it looks like scorpioncoatings.com. Man, you got me sold, especially if you could do it yourself. And obviously, I've seen it in person several shows this year. It just looks awesome. And it's great when you can kind of reciprocate, right? And they hooked you up, and then boom, an opportunity comes up, and then you can be like, yo, I'll come out. I mean, it's an honor, right? So, I mean, that was good that it all kind of worked out that way.
Yeah, absolutely, man. It's like repaying the favor of these guys, man, because, they could have easily probably I was probably looking at a couple, 100, maybe almost $1,000.
Sure.
For a Ballard kit. And by the time paying someone to spray it and this and that, I was like, man, so these guys, man, they really hooked me up, and man, it's the least I can do. Jim's been great, as far as, man, I've also been traveling back and forth to his place, doing some sheet metal work on his project. And actually, Jim's project was supposed to be the feature vehicle for Scorpion and just didn't get done in time, so he reached out to me, man, for doing some work for him, and he's like, hey man, we'd love to use the truck. So yeah, dude, it just couldn't have worked out any better.
Yeah, fantastic. On their site, it says Scorpion is the leader in truck bedliners in the U.S. and many countries around the world. So pretty cool to know that. We're excited for you. We're going to be out there with street trucks. We're definitely going to be doing some interviews. So if you're listening on day one, everyone, of course, it's Friday. This next week that we're rolling into is SEMA. So you best believe that we're going to come by and talk with Chad. We'll talk with the team there as well with Scorpion. And we're super excited for it. I do want to just hit on real quick. I know that you did at LST. I remember you had linked up with Chris and them, right? You had that unique opportunity, I think, to help with some of the sheet metal awards that you're doing. And,
yes,
some of the stuff that you've done, dude, you've really taken it. I'm proud of you as a friend, as a brother in the scene, but like I've seen you grow and, from everything from the garage to the skateboard collection, but dude, your passion for some of this bead rolling stuff, dude, I can't draw a stick figure. Man, I'm just so happy for you, bro, with what you're doing.
Man, I appreciate it, Jay. Yeah, dude. Man, it's been a while, man, since I've actually been back on the roller. I did a couple of awards for some of the guys in the clubs and stuff like that, and like just some art panels and stuff like that. Just a couple months ago, man. But it's been a minute since I've been on the bead roller. But lo and behold, man, our brother Mike Murray, the mayor, he reached out to me, man, just a couple weeks ago, man. He says, hey, man, don't forget about me, about my show. And so I linked up with the homie Sean Rose, man, and Sean, absolute 100. Yes. Perfect dude, man. Love the guy. Dude, me and him, we mesh so well together because, man, he is killing it right now in the scene as far as his work, man, and what he's doing. And much props to him because, man, I can remember when Sean got started,
Sure.
And Sean reached out to me and he says, man, can you give me some tips? Can you give me some help, man? And dude, I was more than glad because what I saw, Jay, was I saw a guy reaching out that he wanted to make his work better. He wanted to, he wanted to reach out. This foundation that he has, man, spreading the love, dude.
Sure.
I saw the passion. I could hear it in his voice, man. Dude, he's so passionate about it. And, when he came to me and he says, hey, man, can you teach me, your die setups or, some tricks and tips and stuff like that. And I mean, Jay, look, I'm no Jamie Jordan, man. I'm no this and that, dude. I'm self-taught. I've hit Jamie several times when I first got started, and Jamie has shared tips with me. So, man, I was what we call in the skateboard world, I'm passing the stoke, man.
Yeah.
I just wanted to, I wanted to give that back to Sean, man. And dude, he is absolutely killing it in the scene right now, and I couldn't be more proud of him.
Yeah, I love it, man. Like, in skate, when they're on the ramp and, they do a trick, they take their trucks and kind of tap them on the coping, you know what I mean? And it's like, yo,
oh, yeah, dude.
That love. And it's so great, and that's what we want to continue to, uplift people in the scene, but, highlight people like what you guys are doing. But, we're excited for that. So keep doing what you do. But, kind of in closing, I did want to say, dude, one of my favorite things on your truck, you're going to laugh. I think it was at Mini Nats. I looked over at you, and, you hit something on your key fob, and I was like, damn, you got the roll up and roll down windows on the key fob. Back in the day with auto sound and security, remember how, systems are still big, but like even like alarm systems and stuff they were huge, right? The Vipers and all that. I think Phoenix was one. I can't remember, but that's like an underestimated piece of what we do with our trucks, right? All the relays and the different gadgets and stuff. And dude, I just think that's so awesome. You can roll the windows up and down from the key fob.
Yeah, man. I tell you, dude. So I'm not really a whole believer in the whole door popper thing because you hear people that I guess most of the time it's installation error.
Yeah.
Some guys they don't know how to install them, or I hear they failed or such and such. And I mean, look, this can absolutely fail on me, I guess, as well, too, right?
Sure.
But, I've always had great success with it, dude, even with the single cab. I've had that system in the single cab where I can roll the windows down to actually access to get inside the truck. And I'm going to tell you, man, it just makes things easier, especially when you're loading, like if you're loading on a trailer. Most of the guys are like, oh, how am I going to roll my window up? I can't open my door or such and such. So it makes it really, really easy, dude, just to hit that button, roll the window up after you finish loading and, throw the keys in your daily and just say, hey, I'm hit the road,
Yeah, amazing, dude. And I just think it's an awesome piece of the truck. And, again, a tip of the cap for those that don't know, we want to have you back on to talk about maybe this journey through this whole year, but the rebuild, which took years, and you basically took a regular cab Tacoma and you made it to crew cab, which debuted. Many of the listeners obviously know you, but the hustle, the termination, the detail, all of that stuff really came together, man, and we're super stoked for you.
Oh, yeah, Jay, I appreciate it, man. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, no problem. So, Chad Luke, make sure you check out his truck in the Scorpion booth, as he had mentioned. Don't forget, you can also follow the big homie on social media. It's easy. Just go out and type in LOQUE, right, is the easiest way, and you'll see Chad's profile pop up there. It's CHAD and then LOQUE, right? So it'll pop right up there, NC Chad L. But Chad, dude, Safe travels out west. We'll see you, and dude, the truck's looking so damn good, brother.
Man, I appreciate it, Jay. Thank you, guys, man. And make sure you tell the mayor I said hello, man.
Dude, I'm going off the top ropes on him. I don't care what he says.
That's what I'm talking about. Cage match, man. We need a cage match.
Yeah, man. I'm taking him out. All right, man. Well, listen, be good, brother.
All right, brother.
Peace. So there you have it. Awesome, man. Love talking with Chad. So, going to roll into the general updates here. Here's what I got. This one's pretty simple. This weekend got an opportunity to go to SEMA again. I haven't been as many times as so many of you. Some of you have been multiple times every year. Others have been maybe, once or twice or never. But I highly encourage, if you get an opportunity, I don't know all the ins and outs, but I think this year, the way it was explained to me is it is being open to the public. And maybe that'll be a new trend going forward. It's always been this, industry event. And, it doesn't take a lot to be able to get in. Many of you work in an industry where you can get in. And I think it's cool. And even for those that maybe can't get the credentials to get in for whatever reason, there's still a lot to experience there in the city. You can walk around the outside area that has grown by leaps and bounds. And, I'm just excited to be out there with street trucks. If you want to watch the live stream that we're going to be doing, we've spent a lot of time trying to perfect this. It's not easy with bandwidth and a lot of different factors that you may not even think through. But you can go on Street Trucks. You can turn on the bell notification through YouTube, right? So you tap that bell. Many of you know about that. You can also like their page on Facebook, and what that will do is that will notify you when we go live. So it's basically going to be distributed out through different channels, including those two platforms. So make sure you check it out. We'll be doing stuff through Instagram, of course, a good bit. Some of the behind-the-scenes stuff. It's just going to be an amazing week. This world that we live in now, with technology, we can bring so much, and that's what we're going to be doing with Team Street Trucks. So, general update brought to you by Southeast Mini Truckin' Nats. big ups to our brother from another mother, Jason Bell, and we would hope that you guys can make it out. Of course, they're going through right now the pre-registrations, but I would encourage you, Mini Truckin' Nats on Instagram, of course, Mini Truckin' Nats on Facebook. Here's the key. Even if you don't have a vehicle in the show, cruise into town. You can cruise the Strip, which is arguably even the biggest draw to drive your stuff in Maggie Valley, or just come on in, float into town in your daily driver. Guarantee you'll have an amazing time. Bring a chair, sit by the road, and watch the cruise go down. Mini Truckin' Nats is April 22nd through the 24th of 2022. All right, so next up, going to talk about the scene updates, and definitely been some things that I saved over the past week. What I did want to do, though, just mentioning that this is obviously the SEMA 2021 preview. Thanks again if you're a new listener and you came through to check it out. Consider subscribing and or following the podcast via your favorite podcast app, and then that way you'll be notified. We're almost 3 years straight of new episodes every single Friday, so we love doing it. Now, back a year ago, believe it or not, it was episode 209, I think it was, I was working on, and I was talking about the history of SEMA. So what was ironic was with the show being canceled last year, I thought it would have been cool to kind of go through and talk about how it got to where it was, right? So, obviously SEMA 2020 was canceled, but if I look back at some of my notes from last year, it talked about, it all began in '63 when a group of small manufacturers who were suppliers of performance equipment for early hot rods organized their fledgling industry and called it Speed Equipment Manufacturers Association. That's where the whole SEMA, term came from. The mission was practical and straightforward: develop uniform standards for certain products used in motorsports competitions, promote the industry as a supplier to consumers involved in constructive activities of recreational and hobbyist value, and then, of course, develop programs to encourage improved business practices among members and companies, hold regular meetings to achieve unity as a business org. In those days, all of the members were founders of companies that produce speed equipment exclusively, hence the organization's title. But I don't want to go all too much into it. What I would encourage you to do, if you are a new listener, go back and check it out. I think it was episode 209, SEMA 2020. And so that was give or take about a year ago. Forget exactly what day we published it. So that's what we're talking about on this episode, and we've got still more to come. Now, going through some of the posts here, of course, I'll have a really big update for the Airhead Nation, which is definitely a sad update, but I will certainly cover that as well. Brian Marshall said thank you to my buddy Brian Bowman for doing an incredible stereo in my old 720 that now belongs to my boy, and that's pretty cool. 18-inch sub, that's a throwback term right there, man. You're doing things big when you get an 18, so old school, right? Now, Bob Hase, kind of, scene update. He is on this episode as well. We want to wish him a happy 67th born day. Typically maybe an Airhead Nation update, but he thanks everyone for taking the time to go out there and wish him a happy born day. This was pretty cool. I thought Bill from Aftermath, he had the tragic rear end job done to his dually, and we had posted a photo of that. And really in the past, I haven't posted a lot of stuff like that because it's kind of like, the hot thing, and everybody kind of is quick to try to post, and it gets a lot of views, and that's not why I do social media stuff. I love when people find us and they enjoy our posts, but certainly I'm not in it for the likes and the amount of followers and things like that. I could see why other people are. Obviously, there's power in having high numbers and things like that, but we just do what we do, and I love doing what we do. But back on October 11th, I had posted, we are glad to hear Billy and fam are okay. And Billy's dually was basically smashed in the rear. And it's, you look at this photo and it's hard to understand, like, how could someone do that? Someone had commented that Billy had mentioned that the person was in a drive-through. It's like, I mean, really? But that Feltham painted truck looks so amazing. And he had posted on the 19th, just a little over a week after I posted. He said, first piece of the puzzle, Becky. The 2.0 is going to be coming, so that's pretty cool to see that. And what was awesome, I think he was in Orlando, I heard, when that accident happened, but he was able to kind of unsmush the bed and drive home, and for the most part, it looked like a normal truck once the bed was kind of unsmushed there. So that's the best way I can describe it. And Slam99 said Billy was waiting in line at Steak and Shake, and a lady hit him. He also said the frame was not bent, and appreciate Slam99 Rodney chiming in there. So I wanted to post that again, even though it's kind of a tragic thing in terms of the truck. I think some good will come out of it, and he'll get it back, where he wants it to be. And then last but not least, Eric Shaldon. I think I'm saying his name wrong, right? I know him from his avatar. I know him from Eric, but he had posted on October 17th, almost after 2 years, she's finally done. You talk about debuting a vehicle. The homie's debuting a golf cart. Started with that stock frame. It was cut. It was stretched 3 feet, full air ride, 17-inch Riddler wheels, narrowed front axle. You name it, all kinds of awesome stuff. And hopefully you guys will see more of this badass airbagged golf cart. Yes, golf cart from Eric. And I can't wait to see it. I can't wait to ride in it. You know what I'm saying? So those are a few of the scene updates for this week. And we want to thank Garage Gear Clothing. We are getting into the holidays, and I would encourage you or your loved ones, if you guys are looking for some cool gifts, check out GarageGearClothing.com. One of the only brands that I know that offers free shipping in the U.S. They've got the new Garage Gear shirt featuring Apache, so they've got that old school flavor. They also have plenty of Garage Girl apparel, and on top of that, they also have tons of kids stuff out there. GarageGearClothing.com. Thanks for sponsoring the scene updates this week. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to roll into kind of keeping things fresh, right? Many of you guys are either on the road to SEMA, or you're flying there, you're on a flight, or you're just at the day job trying to get through this Friday. What we're going to do now is roll into the audio with Ruben Arteaga, the Booker, and Chris Burns. And certainly excited for this one. I'm going to call them now Great Kinfolk, and we'll talk to them a little bit about their project. Yo. So as we were kind of getting through this episode 260 SEMA 2021 preview, wanted to link up with the big homies Ruben and Chris Burns. No strangers to OLP. Chris, how you doing?
Good. How you doing?
Good, man. And Ruben, the Booker, how you been, brother?
Oh, man, I never could be better, man. I'm doing great.
I love hearing it. Chris, dude, you guys have been killing it. I'm so stoked. I mentioned a couple minutes ago that we were going to have you on. And, obviously, CS Metalworks, we talked a lot about the history when you came on as a title guest. But how excited are you to take, this SEMA 2020, the SEMA 2021 show by storm was something that you guys have been putting in so much time on?
Oh, I'm pretty stoked. We had a super cool customer, kind of gave us, free reign. He's all, I want to build this ice cream truck. And basically I want it to look kind of like a lowrider. You have to put this ice cream cooler back in it, and everything else was whatever I wanted to do with it.
I love it, man. Master P would be jealous. He was the ice cream man, but I heard this thing's going to be over the top, man.
Well, that's what we were shooting for, and I'm pretty sure we nailed it.
I love it, man. And Ruben, you've been out there really hustling and helping lead the charge, right, with the Cavalry. How good of a feeling has it been to help out your brother, someone that you have a great relationship with Chris?
Oh, man, you know what? I'm totally stoked to be a part of this, and it's gonna, man, people are just gonna be in total shock when they see this thing. I mean, I've shared pictures and a couple of videos with you, and it's it's something else. The amount of time and effort and detail that went into this thing, it's off the chain.
Yeah, I love hearing it. And Chris, one of the things I think is a misnomer oftentimes is SEMA's kind of got a bad rap sometimes for vehicles that are, folks feel like they're hodgepodge together. The thing that I've seen with some of the sneak previews that I've been privy to, Ruben had me sign an NDA, but the cool thing about this is I've seen some of the stainless hard lines and some of the detail work that's in it. Chris, this thing is not a cookie cutter whatsoever.
No. I mean, from the ground up, it's completely one off. And me and the guys over here have pretty much poured our heart and soul into this thing. We kick ideas around over here. What do you think? What do you think? And it's just a mashup of my vision, but with everybody else's input. So and I'm super proud of it.
Yeah, the look of it, I can't wait for people to see it. I'd love to come by with Street Trucks and do kind of some of the live stream. I almost get the feeling like this thing could easily be like in a rap video. It could easily be in a music video in general. Now, Chris, I know that we're talking with Ruben and you right now, but why don't you give a shout out to some of your other crew there that I know that has been right there by your side as well?
Yeah, for sure. So Chris, who I share a building with, is Ludicrous Customs. We partner up pretty much on everything. One of the other guys, Jamie, he's our sheet metal and our little motor guru. And then Ruben obviously stepped in and helped out with all the assembly. And my son has been with us. He helps out here and there, and he's been a big part of the assembly also.
Yeah, that's awesome. And before we flip it back to Ruben, Chris, why don't you just talk a little bit, some things I think you can share, some maybe you can't, but where can folks expect to maybe see this badass vehicle at SEMA next week?
Well, so originally we were supposed to be in the Luxor wire wheel booth, but due to some of the COVID stuff, they decided to back out kind of at the last minute, unfortunately. Mm-hmm. So we were able to come back in under the SEMA VIP builders, whatever they want to call it. So we don't exactly know where we're going to be at as of yet. So we'll find out on Sunday when we show up.
Excellent. Yeah, and I know how some of those last-minute changes, even with the pandemic last year, the show got canceled. Ruben was kind of unprecedented of that to happen. Many of us didn't think it would. So now you're coming back off of, this pandemic year, and you've obviously got companies, maybe revenue's down, maybe there's other motivation for not being able to make it out. Totally get it, right, on all sides. But I know, Ruben, for you, to be able to go there so many years, how good of a feeling is it to be involved in another SEMA build, helping put the icing on the cake, so to speak?
Well, you know what? I wasn't apart from this from its early stages, but to be a part of it from the later stages and assembling it, dude, it's an awesome feeling. It means more to me to help Chris, who I think of as a brother, taking this under his name, under the shop name, and just being a part of it, for his first full-on SEMA build, I couldn't ask for a better situation, just to be there, just to be a part of it, just stand next to him, and see all the accolades that come with it.
Yeah, excellent. I mean, Chris was saying you're kind of like the guy, with when you get the sundae that sprinkles on the little sprinkles at the end, right? You're helping try to button this thing all up, and we've all heard, Chris Jacobs. I used to love when he would say on Overhauling, it's that final thrash, and I know you guys have been wide-eyed, hustling a lot. And you're taking a few minutes to talk with us. This will air on Friday. But Chris, you recently had shared that you guys bagged a 59 Impala, which those things are, continuing to go up in value. When you came on as a guest, you talked about so many different things, but I continue to see your business grow, the work that you guys put out, and you as an owner, the hustle, dedication, sometimes 6-7 days a week. It's got to be a great feeling for you to continue to see the business thrive, even with these crazy pandemic, years that we went through.
Oh, most definitely. It's kind of weird that, business was pretty busy and steady as it was, but ever since the pandemic, it's like everything's doubled and tripled as far as the amount of work that people want done. It's crazy. I'm like, man, where were you guys years and years ago? But you know what? Hey, I'll take it. You know what I mean? They're lined up, got roughly about a 2-year wait list right now. So I'm not complaining.
Yeah, I love it. It's kind of like a football team. They signed Ruben Arteaga. Now all the players want to come and play for the team. You know what I'm saying? He's like, we're going for the Super Bowl. But, in all seriousness, Chris, I mean, we got a lot of respect for you and your gal and your family. The hustle, the dedication, as I mentioned, is definitely there. And, Ruben, before I see if there's anything else that Chris wants to share, any last words from the booka or anything you want to share, homie?
Oh, you know what? I just want to thank you for sharing that Impala, that 59 Impala that we did on your Lincoln page.
Yeah, dog. It's one of the only few posts, not a Lincoln.
You know what? Chris and I were talking about that, and we were trying to go back to see if, what else that wasn't non-Lincoln related ever made it on there. And we honestly couldn't think of that. And I really appreciate it. And I'll be quite honest with you and everybody else. That was the first AccuWear setup I had ever done on my own. And Chris, I mean, this is the amount of trust that Chris has in me. The car showed up and he said, okay, dude, have at it. And I did probably 95% of that car on my own. And to get the accolade from the owner and Chris and everybody else that's seen it, I mean, that made me feel really, really well.
Yeah, chrome and paint just all spelled out. It was cool that he even chimed in. A lot of times you'll share stuff, and sometimes the owners don't even chime in. You're kind of like, damn, I get the cold shoulder, but not with this guy. And, the little mount, how clean it was with the AccuWear setup kind of levitating in the trunk deal. It really did not take away whatsoever, in my opinion, on this amazing car. I mean, God, dude, cars were totally different back then. But, Chris, throwing it back over to you to see if there's anything you want to share. I mean, again, you have in the clientele and guys like this entrusting in your awesome business. Man, it's just so awesome, dude. For me as an enthusiast to see that.
No, definitely. It's a good feeling, when somebody's willing to bring you a car, especially of that caliber, and just kind of, let you do your thing, give you a couple, hey, can you do this? I'd like this, and they let you run with it. It's definitely a good feeling that they have the trust in you, by what they see, and how you carry yourself and what's around you and whatnot.
Yeah, no doubt. I was telling Ruben, if Jimmy's running customs, it wasn't so busy here in Florida and I lived closer, I would definitely bring the car to you guys because, I mean, you got to link it in there now, wink, wink, and, you've got some other cool stuff coming. But it's just what I see as an enthusiast is just the magnitude that you guys have been, being able to put out, right? I mean, it's just amazing stuff. So we wish you guys all the luck. And, rumor has it, the guys are getting tired around the shop. So, they said, maybe order some Little Caesars pizza. I don't know what you guys have out there, but, they said you're rationing food and shit. You know what I mean? Like the NASA shit.
Don't believe everything you hear. I buy these guys lunch all the time.
Oh, I know.
You know what? He feeds us well, man. He feeds us really, really good.
That's good. That's good. I was just trying to stir up some controversy, you know what I mean, for this new TV show. No, I'm just kidding. But seriously,
right.
Dude, we'll see you guys out in Vegas under the lights. We're so excited for you. Keep thrashing, and remember, Chris Jacobs used to always say that final thrash isn't the easiest. You guys got this. I got all the confidence, and we'll see you out there in Vegas getting sideways.
For sure. Thanks, brother.
All right. You guys be good.
Thanks, brother.
All right, man. Dude, that was awesome, man. Super excited. And, dude, Chris is always looking out for his team, man. Feeding those guys, keeping them going. And cannot wait to see the van next week. The sneak previews that I've seen, dude, the thing's off the chart. So super stoked. So key show updates. We'll kind of roll into this now. If you're a new listener, we basically go over all of the key shows for the most part across the industry related to the mini truck scene. And really where I want to focus, as we get to the end of the year, it's a little bit easier because we're not covering a million shows. But basically SEMA next week, as we know, Laying at the Lake, okay, is going to be the 12th through the 14th. We just had the big homie on to talk about it. It's in Grapeland, Texas. They've got great pre-registration numbers, so I think that show is going to continue to grow. And, of course, you heard him recently talk about how they were able to contribute with the dam that broke and things like that there in Texas. So a good family atmosphere event if you can, Laying at the Lake on Facebook. Of course, also on Instagram. Bayou Showdown, one of our title sponsors, Custom Car Show Productions. This show has grown by leaps and bounds. Sean Randall is also, of course, involved. Want to talk to Sean hopefully right after SEMA. And Bayou Showdown is the 19th through the 21st in Slidell, Louisiana. Now, you hear the ad at the very beginning of the episode. The key thing about this show is you got full-size trucks, minis, plenty of lowriders, and you've even got lifted trucks in the mix. So it's really an awesome show. And last year they had a line miles long trying to get in. So love what they're doing. Love the artwork. Feltham Fab is doing some of the amazing awards. And from what I've seen from Feltham Fab on Instagram, dude, he has knocked it out of the park. So if you can, get on out there too, Bayou Showdown. Now, going into next year, the few shows I really want to hit on, and I'm kind of going from memory here because I got to update my spreadsheet, and some of these I've added to our calendar. So I guess it's good now to plug. If you are on an iPhone or Android, it doesn't matter, or you're on your Mac, you can go to ourlifestylepodcast.com. On the left side, select where it says Official OLP Show Calendar, okay? Once you go there, the first sentence says, click here to subscribe. When you click there, you're going to get a pop-up that says, do you want to allow the calendar? It's an iCal. Again, doesn't matter if it's iPhone or Android. That will download that calendar. You basically subscribe to that calendar. You can unsubscribe at any time, and what we do is we put all of the show dates in there. We put reminders that pop up, usually a day and 1 week prior. And then typically, I'll also put in there a link to the Instagram and or the website, depending on what information that we have. Then that allows for you easy access to go right in there. So what we're looking at for next year, Mike talked about his show earlier, but Kern County Showdown is going down in Bakersfield, California. That's the 4th, 5th, and 6th of February. So really, in my mind, one of the first shows of the year besides Mike's that is going to be going down. Of course, that's out on the the West Coast. That's Kern County Showdown, Bakersfield. You can go out and you can find more information, Facebook and Instagram. Now, from there, you basically have Lone Star Throwdown. So, of course, with Lone Star Throwdown, this show's in Conroe. It is sold out, but as I mentioned earlier, you can still go there. You can buy tickets. You can get in. And I tell you what, arguably the biggest, baddest show in the world for our truck scene, okay? 11th annual next year. It's the 25th through the 27th of 2022 in Conroe, Texas. You got to be sleeping under a rock. I've always said this if you don't know what that event is. Now, from there, basically Relaxin' on the Ranch. Okay, so Relaxin' on the Ranch is March 5th, 2022. It's a one-day show. That's in South Florida at the Westgate Ranch. Amazing show. One day, you can camp. You can set up a tent with a camp, right, in your camp. You can do a camper, right, and then you can also rent a room. There's different pricing available. You got to go out to their Instagram. You can click the link in their bio, and that will take you over, including more information if you need to email them, call them, or pre-register. So they have different prices also set up there. Like if you want a shirt, you're going to want a shirt. If you want to do be a title sponsor, all that stuff, you just click the link in their Instagram. Now, Orange Beach Invasion. I kind of messed this one up last time, right? So Orange Beach Invasion is part of Custom Car Show Productions and, of course, title sponsor of the podcast. Now, next year, it is going to be a little bit different, and you can go on Facebook, Orange Beach Invasion 2022, brought to you by American Force. That is going to be the last weekend in March. So a little bit of a change, March 25th through the 27th. That's going to be Orange Beach, Alabama. Amazing venue, and I know they're going to bring the heat again this year. American Force, obviously a leading force in the industry. They bring out a lot of great kinfolk, but I tell you, the VIP spots are amazing, and if you want to bring your family in for this one, it is a family affair, so it's going to be amazing. The last show that I'll talk about, and I hopefully I'm not missing anything key, but I want to mention Sparks in the Park. So, Sparks in the Park, this is the hottest show on the Emerald Coast. This is, of course, for all of our Floridians. It's a panhandle show, as I call it. It's in Niceville, Florida, okay? That's April 2nd through the 4th at the Mullet Festival ground. So many of you guys came out last year, and I know it was tough because it was Easter weekend. This year, don't have to worry about Easter the same weekend. Come on out, Sparks in the Park 850 on Instagram or Sparks in the Park on Facebook. So go and check them out. All right. With that being said, we're going to go ahead and roll into the audio now with, I'm going to call Bob Hase, talk to him a little bit about the Mini Truck Hall of Fame, which was a combined event for 2020 and 2021 due to the pandemic last year. So we'll jump right in. Hey, as I mentioned on this episode, SEMA 2021 preview, and it wouldn't be SEMA week without the Mini Truck Hall of Fame kickoff. And we'd like to welcome Mr. Bob Hase back to the podcast. How you been, Bob?
I'm doing fantastic.
Well, hey, we're glad to hear it, and we appreciate you sitting down with us. When we had you on, God, man, it was about 6 years ago. I can't believe it was that long ago. We were at the infancy of what we started here. And, of course, we talked about the Mini Truck Hall of Fame and things like that. We've had you on a couple times. But this year is a little unique, right? Because last year, the pandemic. So why don't we start with the 2020 inductees? Because my understanding, right, is this event is going to be combined 2020 and then the 2021 inductees.
Yes. So with the pandemic, of course, our inductees for last year that will be getting their rings this year is the Builder Max Fish Bio Customs. Mini Truck will be Kinda Low. Painter is Russ Gerner. Company is Drop 'em Ware. Club is Negative Camber. Journalist is Jeremy Cook. Mini Truck Memorial Award is Jen Lacey. Courtney Hallowell Achievement Award is Paul Casillas.
Yeah, thank you so much for kind of going over the names. And, you know, Jen Lacey is one that is near and dear to our heart in Florida. You know, she was with our friend Jimmy at Jimmy's Running Customs for a long time, and they built that awesome Chicks ride. But, you know, congratulations to all of the inductees. It's such an amazing honor. And, Bob, I know there's a lot of work that goes into it, and we certainly appreciate all the efforts that you put into, you know, bringing these, you know, these folks some recognition.
Well, you know, thank you, but it is a team effort. We have a committee of 11 members last year and 13 committee members this year. So, you know, we can get, you know, we added yourself and Mike to the Hall of Fame committee this year, and which is going to give us a little more diversity because you two are really in depth into the scene, and you're kind of going to be kind of our ears on the new upcoming people that should be inducted.
Yeah, most definitely. And I got to give a huge tip of the cap. You know, I got a chance to hang out with Shannon at Slamfest. And, you know, Shannon has, you know, reinforced to me right over the course of time the great club Freaks of Nature. I love that these guys and ladies, they hold the kickoff. You know, this is considered the kind of the unofficial kickoff, right, of SEMA, and that's with the Mini Truck Hall of Fame that same night on Monday evening.
Yes. And, you know, every year I thank Shannon for letting us invade his event. And, you know, it does give us a good place to have it. And with Hogs and Heifers and the Grand Hotel letting us to use, you know, their properties, and Hogs and Heifers being the host of this thing, it's really helped us out. And it's really give us a little bit of a different from just a show. You know?
I agree. And, you know, keep me honest, because last year we're going to talk about here in a minute the 2021 inductees. But if I recall, over the past couple of years, there were plans to potentially move it. But with Hogs and Heifers, that's where it's been the last few years that I recall actually going out there.
Yes, it's been there for 9 years now. The 2019 Hogs and the Grand Hotel were in a lawsuit.
Okay.
So Grand Hotel owns the street that we have the show on.
Mm-hmm.
So they weren't going to grant us permission to have it.
Okay.
So Hogs and Heifers rented the bus depot that's not being used anymore to do the 2019 version of the Hall of Fame. It was such a mad success. Hogs and Heifers brought a bar, and the show was huge. And the nice thing is, Hogs and Heifers wristbanded people. They wristbanded over, I believe, 4,000 people that attended.
Holy crap!
Yeah, it was assholes and elbows. It was unbelievable. And Hog said that the Hall of Fame and the kickoff party has become one of their top money-making events that they do per year.
Yeah, there's a little word called that starts with an M, mini truckers, and we sure do love to, have an adult beverage here and there.
Yeah, and the nice part, you can, buy your drink. You can drink outside if you want. It's been a great dynamic.
Yeah, it has, and I've seen several ties vehicles and see even to our friends over at Down the Earth, and we've seen just a good eclectic mix of some hot rods, some rat rods, and some, of course, mini trucks and full-size trucks. It's been pretty cool to continue to see it grow, and I can tell you the sentiment amongst most individuals is that they just love the fact that there's a rich history, as you know, that goes back, to many years ago. So to be able to have something like this that these folks can be acknowledged on for their contributions, as you said, with different trucks, builders, journalists, painters, even clubs, it is truly amazing. And I want to give all respect to Negative Camber, getting ready to celebrate their 30th anniversary and then getting inducted in for the class of 2020. I mean, just awesome stuff.
Yeah. Now, for me, the kind of neat thing about the Vegas deal with Shannon, because he has his radio show, and Shannon, when he was in Vegas, was kind of everywhere. The neat part about it was that people were coming and they're saying, man, the guys from Count Customs were here. Yes. The guys from this show was here. This show was here. That guy was here. Horny Mike was here. And everybody's like, wow, this is really kind of cool, because you're intermixing with people. And for me, the joy I get out of it is a couple of years ago, I'm standing on the stage and I look over, ceremony hasn't started, and I look over and I'm seeing these 5 guys talking. So I walk over and kind of start listening. And it was Frankie Perez that was being inducted for Truck Little Hawaiian. It was Al Martinez. It was Pete Santini and Sir Mike from Sir Michael's and Big Al Martinez from the Truck Jamboree. They were talking about when they were younger, building parts, painting things for each other, and all of that. And at that moment, I kind of stepped back and thought to myself, this is why I do this.
Yeah, there's a lot of history.
Yeah, it's just odd. It's just funny to me to see these old guys, and as they were talking, God, it's been 25, 30 years since we've all talked. And I thought, wow, this would have never happened. And unfortunately, we lost Al Martinez last year. And I'm so glad that we could have given him his award for the Truck Jamboree.
Yeah, and we had briefly talked about losing him, and I've got a lot of love for, although I never got a chance to go, unfortunately, to one of the truck jams, the spring or the normal one. I always remember seeing his name on those flyers, and to your point, it's so awesome. It's rewarding to me, just even as an enthusiast, to be able to see these folks acknowledged for their long dedication to the scene, right? The stuff doesn't happen overnight, as you know. So, again, thank you so much for mentioning Al Martinez, and rest in peace to him. And I think it's just an amazing cause. Why don't you talk to, I know the inductees for 2021, before you go over those names, there's a little, the list is a little shorter, right? And it's, my understanding, it's because of the combination of the 2 years and the pandemic. Is that correct?
Yes. When we first started the Hall of Fame, we always agreed that, mini truck had to be on there, club had to be on there, and journalist and event.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the ones that had to be on the list if we had to shorten it for some reason.
Yep.
Now, what I did is before we shortened the list, the one award that I always like to give is the Courtney Hollowell Achievement Award. It's not on here this year. And I talked to Maggie about it, and she said, it's okay with me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we can go ahead and drop it this year. And I said, okay. And she goes, because I know you want to shorten it up, because I don't want this thing to get too long because people lose interest. And 2021 is the second group, and I don't want people to leave or lose interest.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it was a good compromise, right? Because of all the stuff, we used the P word earlier, the pandemic, and we are a different, a lot of things have changed. Let's just leave it at that. But so why don't we, without further ado, you can mention those names for the 2021, which have been published, but you can go over those if you don't mind.
Yeah, okay. We have got our inductees are Truck, Westside Truckers, Truck Club, Westside Truckers. Truck is Smooth Character. Journalist is Courtney Hollowell. And I'm looking at my list, and I don't see the fourth category on here for some reason.
And I think it was Booger Bash.
Yeah, Booger Bash. That's it.
Yep.
God dang. Thank you.
Yeah, my understanding is Booger Bash may have gotten beaten out in the past. I'm a big, NFL fan, and we've seen the way the NFL Hall of Fame works, right? I mean, sometimes you see a guy and you go, man, I thought it would be a first ballot. But Booger Bash is one I never made it to, but there's a lot of love on the East Coast for this show, and I know some committee members in the past have pushed for this one. And it's rewarding to me because I used to see the coverage of Mini Truckin'. And that's the thing I would tell the listeners, Bob, is if there's a truck or a club or a journalist that didn't make it this year, believe me, we've got a long list and we're working through and we want to make sure we acknowledge all the right folks over the course of time.
What some people don't understand is this list is about 800 names long.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and we only give away usually 8 awards.
Right.
So somebody, and then too, you've got to be in the scene for 10 years. You got to do this, you got to do that. So there's a lot of things. I mean, I've had people say, "Who the hell is Mike Burley?" And who the hell is Sir Michaels? Well, he's the guy that kind of came up with the roll pan.
Sure.
So he's pretty important in to our industry. And some of the people even have told me, who the hell is Steve Stillwell and Brian McCormick?
Ah, they should be slapped. But
yeah. Did you just get out of diapers?
Right.
But and it's very hard, and we try and, move, like Booger Bash, Mini Truck Nationals. The original one got it a couple of years ago. A show, I think 2 years ago, got it from Florida. Mm-hmm. So we're moving around. It's just, it's like when someone says, well, why didn't you give it to this event, but you give it to Easter Spring Splash? Well, in its time, that was iconic.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And,
So you kind of have to go, and it's a hard decision. I mean, I wish people could sit on the outside and look in. Now, we don't talk on the phone when we do our voting, or it's all typed words, okay? And it takes about a month and a half, and the nasty words that go between us committee members it's fun to read back on, and I just, we've got, some of the committee members think, I'm pig-headed about something, and I say, it's not that I'm pig-headed. I'm just trying to get you guys organized. Let's move on. Let's come back to this later when there's cooler minds prevail.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, there's a lot of passion. I'll use the word.
Yeah, and it is, and that's why I'm excited for you and Mike to be involved this next year more so. We'd already done the voting when you guys got involved, but because you guys are going to bring a different dynamic. You guys are going to bring a different argument. So, and I think that's what we need, and when I talk to some of the guys on the committee and I say, I think ITB should be one of the shows, Import Truck Bash. It was in Indy. And then, I got 2 committee members, never heard of it. Yeah. Where have you been? But here's the thing. They're a little younger than me, but they're the old school mini truckers that resolutions was the big thing always and always will be. They've not went to LST and they've not went to this, but I go to those shows, So
yeah, and
I don't know it all, but at least I can form an opinion.
Yeah, definitely.
That's what I'm trying to say.
And one of the things earlier this year I had, it wasn't even that long ago, I had posted an old school mini truck, and I had quoted, rest in peace, Ernie Macias. I had quoted him from an article that he wrote back in the day for Mini Truckin', and what he kind of had, it was called The History of Mini Trucks, and it kind of delved into the fact that mini trucks date back to the 50s, right, in some of these import trucks, and then they started to grow kind of from the 60s and that type of thing. So I have to often remind people that, like, you might be an OG or you might be original in a trend that you started, but what we've all learned is that someone that considers themselves old school, that's a 90s mini trucker, well, mini trucks, as you know, Bob, they've been around a long time, right? So I mean, even your club, right? So that's something that I would always encourage people. I mean, you got to know the history of, what you're talking about, and whether it's Mini Truck Magazine, Mini Truckin', or, the Mini Trucker Magazine, and then Truckin', of course, before that. There's a lot of history out there. But, what you guys are doing, I know it's a group effort, but what you've done to, like, spearhead this, Bob, we talked about it 6 years ago, so we picked up a lot of listeners since then. I just want to say tip of the cap because, again, I know it's a great thing. It's near and dear to your heart as well.
Yeah, I kind of have taken this on like it's my baby, but it's not my baby. It's the committee's baby. And we have our struggles, we have our arguments, we have our fights, but I can generally say every one of us love each other. I've known most of these guys all my life. And, when you get in an argument with a guy like Craig Frazier,
right.
And you think about it for 20 minutes, you give him a call, hey, I didn't mean what I said. And he goes, well, I didn't mean what I said, and, then he sees me at SEMA, he gives me a kiss on the cheek, I kiss him on the cheek, and it's done.
Right.
Yeah. So, it's just, I guess it's the nature of the beast, because when people have an opinion, when ice cream man going by,
right.
When people have an opinion, you can always get into a heated argument, but it's not really an argument. It's people sitting on the outside would think, wow, that damn thing is brutal.
Yeah.
But it's really not,
Yeah,
anyway.
Absolutely. And, got to thank, some of the longtime sponsors, including one of our partners, the West Coast Influence. We often remind people they can go to minitruckfilm.com. You can see Bob Hase talking that. Of course, Ernie, rest in peace, Gendro, and so many others. So big ups to the West Coast Influence. Again, minitruckfilm.com. Bob, before we end, I mean, I know there might be a few other things you wanted to cover. I did want to throw that over to you. And again, we certainly appreciate you sitting down with us.
Okay. What I'd like to do is I would like to thank our sponsors, because without them, we could not do this. This is not a Bob Hase get rich quick scheme like I've been accused of. We charge $400 to sponsor someone, and the ring is $328 of it, and then stage comes out of that, banners comes out of that, so on and so. Usually, what happens is, like this year, we ran out of money, so it's the bank of Bob supporting it, but I don't mind doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Who I want to thank is I want to thank the West Coast Influence. Battle and Banner, Texas Heat Wave, Fuel Marketing, Vivid Reality, LST, Garage Gear, Sunset Worldwide, and our Lifestyle Podcast. Thanks to, and I've got people like West Coast Influence, Garage Gear, I think probably you guys now, and Texas Heat Wave, that I just make a phone call. And it's, yeah, sure. Who's left? I'll sponsor it. Well, don't you want to sponsor a specific category? No. You just, whatever you need. And that's what makes it easy. People, especially in this time of uncertainty, giving to this thing. And, I'm proud to say that we've inducted over 80 people.
Amazing.
And in our 9-year history. So that's, to me, is saying something, because the original Mini Truck Hall of Fame, they only inducted one person. So it's really not a Hall of Fame, because if there's one person in it, it doesn't mean anything, So that's where the idea came, because I talked with Mike Alexander and Ernie Macias, rest in peace, about why not, let's not connect it to a magazine. Let's just connect it as the Mini Truck Hall of Fame. Then it doesn't matter. If a magazine goes out of business, a company goes out of business, it doesn't matter. We keep going.
Yeah, 100%. And, I did, when you were talking there, you said so many great things. I wanted to mention that we typically don't give out a lot of insight into who our next guest is going to be, but there's a guy that we're going to be talking to probably for next week's episode, Rob Kamowski, and I'm probably messing up his name, but Rob, as you probably know, wrote the book around a book centered around mini trucking, and it was local finesse guy, tall guy, and he wrote a book. I think shortly after Courtney had a stroke many years ago, and I recently read the book, and it just was awesome. I really thoroughly enjoyed it, and one of his friends heard us talking about it recently, and he reached out to us. So I'll be recording with him, and we'll be getting him on, but it really just brought me back to a lot of the memories of kind of the 90s and so many of these different guys' names, and some ladies, right, with Jen Lacey, and I know, Mrs. Hollowell, she's involved, but it just really amazing that there's an eclectic group of folks that make up this scene that go back way before even the 80s. And I certainly, as an enthusiast, appreciate everybody's contribution to bring us to the point that we are in the scene that we all love, man.
It's funny, when I started with my 66 Datsun, put wheels on it, everyone laughed and said, you know what, this is a fly-by-night thing, it'll never last. And here we are 50-some years later, still going strong,
100%.
And I just wish that the manufacturers would embrace a true mini truck.
I know, and hopefully, although we don't know how, what the future holds, we have seen a little bit of resurgence. I read a lot about the Ford and what they've kind of done, the Ford brand, with some of the fuel economy and all that stuff they got to meet. So, we do have our fingers crossed, with the Maverick and the Ranger, but, let's see. We've seen a resurgence of even toppers, right? Camper shells, and I would love to see the manufacturers come back and embrace, to your point, maybe the big window, camper shells and things like that. So, hopefully, as we say, minis on the rise, hopefully, Bob, that means the industry as well will get in support, because there's a lot of money that's thrown around in the truck scene, and I would love to see them doing that.
Also, if anybody that listens to the podcast would like to get involved in being the name and title sponsor of the Hall of Fame, it doesn't cost you much. It's $600 a year, which is nothing, and that's just to keep our website and all of that up. I'm looking for one of those. We had House of Color for 5 years. Then the guy that was in charge of sponsorship, he moved on. And so we lost that sponsorship. But, we can't do this without the help of the general public.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's one thing that, I throw it out and piggyback what Bob says, what Bob just stated is that, we want to really help throughout this next year, make sure that we give a lot of props to those organizations, companies, maybe it's All Time Low Magazine, maybe it's, some of the other folks that partner with us like Custom Car Show Productions. But what we want to do is we want to highlight them throughout the year and obviously drive to the website and bring as much awareness as we can. So, you have our commitment, Bob, as we've said in the past, to do that. And hopefully once we get past this year in going into 2022, hopefully there's, greener fields ahead and we can get past the pandemic stuff. But, we certainly appreciate you taking the time and thank you so much for sharing all the details.
You're quite welcome.
And Bob, we're going to continue the episode. Stay on the rise and we'll see you just in a few days, my friend.
Okay. See you then.
All right, man. Always awesome. Thanks, Bob, for sitting down with us. Certainly appreciate it. All right, so just a few more updates here, and then I think the last audio that I have to do is I'll be calling Billy Bob. So the podcast updates, right? So all of the pre-sales for the mini Truckin, it's in our DNA. Everything has went out, including the overseas orders. We did have some of those, so thanks to everyone that has contributed to the cause by buying some merch, okay? Our lifestylepodcast.com. Now, I want to thank 3D Nick, okay? 3 and then the letter D and then NICK. 3D Nick is Nick Allen, and if you go, he's got about 15,000 followers. He is the guy, I mentioned this before, that has the bag DeLorean, okay? He is an awesome dude. Part of the inspiration came from his car, right? So he's maybe the first, maybe the only bag DeLorean that I know of that I've seen. And I just love the car, right? I love Back to the Future. So 3D Nick, he ordered one as well. And, of course, he posted it up back on May 14th. And, dude, to him, also to Ryan from Graphics Mafia that kind of gave us some of the inspiration with the out-of-air tag. You got the Nike mags in there. You have the hoverboard. You have Biff's Pleasure Paradise, which we've spun to OLP's Pleasure Paradise. So a very, very cool tie-in to BTTF. If you want to go out there, we do have a few left. It's ourlifestylepodcast.com. We do have some hoodies left as well. So that was the Back to the Future shirt, right? So I'm kind of jumping back, right, a couple of months. But the mini Truckin, it's in our DNA. That stuff also just shipped. So all that's out the window. Many of you have already received those. Some of you have posted and tagged us, put it out there on Instagram, and other people are like, oh, where do I get it? So thanks for all of the love there. Certainly appreciate it. And it all of what we make basically goes back in the pot to do more, right? So we've got some cool stuff coming up. If you hit us at a show, we're going to have the big metal signs available, okay? Those we cannot ship. They're just too big, right? These badass aluminum signs. The little aluminum signs that are mostly sold out, those are now shipping. And they, like I said, they sold out pretty quick. So what you want to know there is as we get more inventory in, we'll post about it. But we always appreciate every one of you when you go out there and you buy some merch. It definitely helps us. It helps us keep the ideas coming so that we can do more and more and more. Lastly, if you get an opportunity, please leave a rating through Apple Podcast app. Okay, it's the purple pre-installed podcast app. If you have an iPhone, many of you are probably listening on that app. You go in there, you tap on library, you select OLP, which is us, scroll to the bottom, down, 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 and then you can leave a 5-star rating, and then you can also write a review if you would like. The latest one was from Low Country, Kuntree. Have enjoyed the scene since the early 90s. Love listening to the show and getting flashbacks to that time. Keep it up! ! So really appreciate that. And I think that was the last one that we received, so big ups. Those are the podcast updates for this week. And again, we got to thank Joey at Get Decked, okay? Here's the key thing. If you're a show promoter or you're an enthusiast, Joey at Get Decked can help you. He does all of our skate decks for us. So many of you have purchased skate decks. We've got more coming. Those will be shipping as well. Even if you haven't had an opportunity to purchase one. Maybe you have a significant other and you want to put his or her vehicle on a skate deck. Joey at Get Decked can do that. You just got to hit him up. He's on Instagram. Type in Get Decked. You'll see Joey Dilworth. His name will come up. He's also on Facebook. Message him, and he will get you squared away. Thank you to Joey at Get Decked for sponsoring our podcast updates this week. All right, lastly, before we roll into Billy Bob's audio, Airhead Nation update, and this is definitely one that I didn't want to have to cover this week. You know, I had recorded and kind of put together last week's episode earlier in the week and had it pretty much wrapped up a little earlier than normal. And I woke up on Friday morning to just news that, you know, that hit me hard, and it hit many of you hard. And of course, it just was a very, very tough thing. Last week and over the past couple episodes, we've asked, you know, for the thoughts and prayers for our friend Neil Stark. And, you know, I hate to have to cover that he did pass away. Many of you know that. Many of you have seen the outpouring of support for Mary Beth and their kids. And you've seen all of the emotional posts about what an amazing man Neil Stark was. He's a Marine, and he's just someone that everybody wanted to hang out with. You know, he had so many different friends, and I could have swore I took a photo with him, and I was going through photos the other day, and I found one, and it was from October of 2020 at Mini Nats. And, you know, I got to hang out with Neil a couple times. I got to have a great conversation with him about different things, and he just was a true hardcore enthusiast. But above him, beyond that, you know, he was a significant other to Mary Beth. He was a father, you know, he was a friend, and he was so much more. So, you know, I wanted to just go through a couple of the posts here. Mary Beth on October 22nd said, "How do you post something about losing your best friend and the love of your life? I don't know how to move forward. God's plan was different from mine. I love you, best friend." And she just has a photo of them. It's definitely heart-wrenching to see some of these posts. Now, one that just really hit me hard is Alina, I believe is how you say her name, Alaina Stark. On October 22nd, she posted, "Words cannot describe how I feel about my dad. There was so much more in life I wanted you to be there for, but last night God had other plans." And, you know, it's an emotional photo of her holding her dad's hand, you know, and we saw some of Mary Beth's posts, you know, about how, and some of his friends on how I think he was on his, you know, his chest in the hospital, and, you know, his hand is just, you know, the palm of his hand is facing up, and she's holding her dad's finger, and it's just it's you know, it's tough to see, and I just feel so much sadness for their family. There was another post by James Cherpinsky II. "I'm at a loss for words. Neil was such an awesome person. It's not every day that you can meet someone like that. I feel honored to have met Neil and to have shared the times that we shared together. My heart goes out to Mary Beth Trainer, I believe is how you say her last name, and family, Neil, Mary Beth, and just sending out condolences there." You saw a lot of the Team Stark image going around, and I know that Billy from Severed, New York, he also put together another one that was shared widely. And, you know, as a Severtize member, I appreciate all the love from east to west, worldwide, that many of you showed for Neil. So many of you knew him, and you know, it just was amazing to see the outpouring of support. Mary Beth, she had a longer post around 8:44 on the 22nd, and, you know, she mentioned that, you know, she was there with Alina, just thinking how can all of this be happening, and she had posted a photo that says, "The biggest lie we're ever told is, quote, to be someone who makes you happy, end quote. The truth is, happiness is something you create on your own. Be with someone who adds to it." And that was a photo of them, it looks like in Maggie Valley there, and next to the truck with the beautiful mountains and stuff behind them. Joe Contenta, I'm saying some of these names wrong, I apologize. I don't even know where to start. If you know me, most likely you knew Neil. He's been my best friend for the better part of 15 years and just shared some amazing photos. And you can only imagine what the friends and family are going through. And then lastly, Shay Hostler. I've been avoiding posting this all day, as now there are 2 links in a month that have been broken in the family chain. Life is so unfair sometimes, and I know we are all feeling broken over all of this. Neil Stark, I will cherish the talks we had with you and the memories we have shared. And again, just a heartfelt condolences to the family. I'm just so sorry for your loss. We all are here at OLP. So please accept these condolences from us, and if we can do anything, we are willing to help. You just let us know. All right, so not easy to move on. Just to end on a little bit of a positive note there, NC Tommy did post, and he says, we did it. And you got the little beautiful baby there with the beanie, and he's looking like a real proud papa, so with mama there too. So big ups to them. A lot of comments, a lot of congratulations. Much love and respect from us here at OLP. The Airhead Nation updates are brought to you by our family at Hammered Weekend Wear. We've told you time and time again, you can visit HAMMERD weekendwear.com. They've got some information about the few remaining U.S. tour dates out there, but most importantly, you can buy some merch. They've got stickers for as low as $3. They've got the new Catch Me If You Can and the More Than You Can Afford PAL featuring Tim Davis's amazing topless Nissan hardbody. But there's even more out there. I'm growing up on mini Truckin and so much more. It's HAMMERD weekendwear.com. So with that being said, we had a jam-packed episode. Obviously, a lot of stuff to cover. Rest in peace to Neil Stark, our brother. And I would say stay positive out there, guys. It's a crazy world. This weekend, obviously, is opportunity, just, a little bit cooler weather in many parts of the world. And, just have a good, safe weekend. Next week is SEMA. Stay posted to Street Truck social media, as well as our Lifestyle Podcast, Facebook, Instagram, you name it. And if you can, just stay on the rise. And, we'll hit you guys next week. Got a real cool episode coming at you guys. You heard it with Bob Hase. I gave a little bit of hint with that. And we will talk very, very soon. Appreciate all the support. OurLifestylePodcast.com, ODB, on behalf of myself and the mayor. We got you. Enjoy this audio with Billy Bob. Peace. Yo, so as I mentioned, we're going to wrap this episode up. Man, it's been jam-packed. And we couldn't wrap it up without our big homie, Billy Bob, coming on. You're going to be out at SEMA this coming week, dude. How you doing?
I'm doing absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, I'm glad to hear it, man. It was so good to see you when you came down to Florida, man. I know that, I got to be careful when I say that, because when I say Florida, man, that's a whole different meaning. But thanks for coming to Florida, homie. And I know you got a chance to go down to Key West, and you made the best of it.
I did. I really enjoyed the trip. It was, obviously too short. The 4 days I was there, I think it was 4 days, it just all blended together. But, hanging out with you and some buddies at I believe that was your mom's house at the pool. Yeah. That was great.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Spending time at Slam Fest on Saturday, and then getting up early Sunday, flying to Key West, getting a rental car. I had about 3 to 4 hours of time to do sightseeing and stop along the way, but I had to make it back there to Tampa so I could, pick Ron up and because he dropped the truck and trailer off at your house, and then he was flying back Monday morning at the same time. We flew back, I think, at 9 a.m. So it was a tight schedule. I crammed a lot into that weekend.
Yeah.
But so much that it does, like, the days kind of blend together, and I have to think about what day I did what. But, it was a great time. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, we certainly appreciate you making the trek, from out west, and it was awesome. But, dude, you've been, I've been wanting to link up with you a little bit this year, but, you've been on this, what I said about Chad earlier was, like, he's been on this warpath with his Toyota. The cool thing is, both of you guys came out this year with these amazing trucks. I mean, dude, from Lone Star Throwdown, one of our favorite shows, seeing it there, getting shot that weekend. Boom, landed on the cover shortly after. Not stock photography, just killed it. But now you kind of got the icing on the cake, right? You're going to be out at the famed SEMA show, the event, right? Not your first time going out there, of course, but how excited are you to be out there?
I'm really excited. This is actually the first time that I've had a personal vehicle of mine at the SEMA show.
Ah, okay.
And I have taken vehicles that I've built for customers or for places that I've worked for. Like you said, I've been there many a times. It used to be my favorite. I look forward to the SEMA show every year. That was my favorite time. But I am excited because, like I said, this is my first time taking a personal vehicle, and it's indoors, and it's going to be in the Engaged Media booth for Street Trucks magazine. And I don't think I could have got a better spot.
Yeah, I think it's awesome that, even 20 plus years, Engaged Media, with Street Trucks, of course, still doing the damn thing. And, we can't forget that, you were also on, it was timed perfectly. You got the Hammered Weekend Wear shirt, the photo shoot, the cover, and now SEMA. When you think about all the hard work and the friends and the homies and those that maybe chipped in to help you out on this build, how satisfying is it knowing that you've gotten so much love, even with good guys this year?
It really sometimes is kind of mind-blowing to me. I didn't realize that, I set out to build this truck, and I've always been mini truck. I've built street rods my whole life, which, I'm sure many people know. But my passion's always been mini trucks. That's where, my roots were and what I got into and what I've always built for myself, mostly, even though I've built others. But I didn't realize when I was building this truck that being what it is, it fits so many genres. I've taken it, like you said, Good Guys Show, won an award there and a feature in the Good Guys Gazette magazine, the cover of Street Trucks. I took it to import face-off, local car shows. I've got the biggest variety of trophies with that truck. I mean, it's like best 60s pickup. It's like, favorite import. It's just the weirdest variety of awards that, it really is. It's kind of like mind-boggling. And I don't know how to put it in words, but it's I'm way more than happy with how it turned out and how people receive it and look at it. And I don't know. I guess I'm kind of I feel pretty fortunate and lucky that it's done as well as it has. Like you said, I did have a lot of friends this time that helped out on this build. Jeff Reed, my buddy Jose, Jason Leckbold, Jeremy Mosley, and the list goes on and on with people. Paul St. Cyr, and I'm sure there's plenty I'm missing out on, but I used to be one of those guys that when I was young, I wanted to do everything myself on the truck. And this time around on this truck, I just kind of took a different approach and called in every favor that I could possibly call in. I did. I'm like, hey, remember when I did this for you?
They're like, no. You're like, no. Oh, yeah. I think I remember that.
Yeah, I actually, when it came time to bodywork, I had a bodywork party, and I was eating lunch with my buddy Jeff Reed and Jason Leckfold, and I asked Jason, I said, hey, what are you doing the weekend before Thanksgiving? And he says, I don't know. I said, well, I'm thinking about having a bodywork party. He goes, okay, what time are we starting? I mean, didn't hesitate, didn't anything, just said, what time are we starting? And, it was, it was nice to have the help from friends and that to, that didn't hesitate to say, yes, I'll help or anything. And it is a pretty nice feeling, actually.
Yeah, man, and it could just be a rumor, but I heard one of your favorite awards was Hammer and Hank Award over at Lone Star Throwdown. And it was so awesome to have her there in the Hammered Weekend Wear booth. But, you said so many good things there. And, you talk about the camaraderie of the homies chipping in and good people that you've known for years and years and years and those relationships you build. But, to me, one of the coolest things about it is, you and I talked about this, is, looking back at Mini Truckin Magazine, knowing, rest in peace, Ernie Macias, he had shot the oldest truck for the cover. And then, here your truck is, a true definition. I talked to Bob Hase earlier, and it's on this episode where, we talked about like old school mini trucking goes really back to the 50s. If you look at the imports and, started kind of gaining some momentum in the 60s. But, your truck fits right in there. It's a 63 or 64? 63.
63, correct.
Yeah, so if yours was on the cover, it actually would have been the oldest mini truck on the cover of Mini Truckin Magazine. And I look at that and just say, you've always kind of done some different type things that I've appreciated, but like with this one, it was really it wasn't cookie cutter, and it certainly wasn't one that you can go buy a lot of store bought stuff for it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it was that. It took me about 7 or 8 years to build this one. For that fact, hunting down parts, the side trim for it, I had to buy partial sets, and finally came across enough that I could put a complete set together. And then, of course, they all had to be straightened and pick and filed and polished. And some of the parts came from Australia, Peru, Thailand. It was building a truck that there was about 1,000 of them ever produced. I don't know if I would ever build something that rare again. Honestly, it's just kind of like, because you can't just go out and go, okay, I'm going to do this today, because I don't have the pieces that I need. I got to wait till I get the parts that I need before I can finish something. And finally the time came. I got everything pretty much gathered that I needed, and it was like, okay, now I'm going to do this. And now it's done, and I'll say finished, even though everybody knows that they're never finished. Finished for now. I'm glad that I did. I'm glad that I, persevered through all those years and hunting down parts and emails and messages and everything else, and finally got it done. I love the little thing. I've had lots of people wanting to buy it, and I'm just to that point where I like it so much, I'm not really sure I ever want to get rid of it. Not that I wouldn't if somebody offered a ridiculous amount of money, but, I'm more than happy with it.
Good. Yeah, we've heard Hank's, been counting his pennies. You know what I mean? You just never know. He could come through, with a big pillow of pennies. Yep. You know what I mean? You
never know when Hank may be the owner of that truck.
Yeah, he'll come off the top ropes, that's for sure. We're super excited. You mentioned, so for the listeners, want to reinforce, Engage Media is who owns, the F100 Builder's Guide, C10 Builder's Guide, Street Trucks, OBS Builder's Guide, and some other magazines as well. But their booth, it's big time to be in one of theirs. You think back to the old days of like Truckin and things like that, and it's kind of the last of the Mohicans, at least in our scene, from a magazine that's available on newsstands. So, we congratulate you. Love the fact that you're going to be in the Engaged Media booth. We'll, of course, be doing the live stream with Street Trucks via their social media platforms. And what I'd love to do is obviously, Eddie and I will be doing interviewing. Would love to talk to you a little bit about the truck, even if we do a walk around there. But I also want to make sure before there's, I want to check with you to see if there's anything else you want to cover. But I want to also congratulate you. I know you've been super busy, right? Traveling, trucks, all this. But, man, I truly love the fact that you got into the podcasting world. And, I wanted to make sure we plugged you, Billy Bob, on Instagram, Billy Bob, the podcast. And I truly think that, you're going to continue to hopefully do that. And I would love for you to do that, man.
I do. I plan on doing more episodes. It's like you just mentioned. LST hit, and I know it's been about 7 months since I put out an episode, and it continually is on my mind.
Yep.
But literally almost every weekend, I have been go since February in LST.
Oh, yeah. You've been on a tear, man.
Yeah, it's, you get that one good season or whatever you want to call it for a truck or a build or a car, or when it's fresh, that's when you got to go, show, do what you can before the newness wears off and everybody's tired of looking at the thing. And it has been, LST roast or Boise Roaster Show. And then I had, I had little quirks with the truck, transmission whine, had to rip the transmission out, rebuild it. Even though it had already been rebuilt, it sat dry for 7 years and a bearing went out in it. Took it to Medford, Oregon. The thing started smoking. I had to put new valve seals in it. So there's little problems that the in-between shows that I had to go in there and fix because, I don't want to take it someplace with it smoking again.
Right, exactly.
Kind of embarrassing that you have this cover truck and the thing's smoking as you're driving it into a show.
Yeah, I mean, Hank's smoking, 6-7 packs a day. I mean, that's the most smoke I want to be around. Let's be honest. You know what I mean? So
yeah, you can't compete with Hank. So.
Right, another level. But again, I love that you mentioned some of the events you've been to because again, you talk about debuting Hammered Booth, Conroe, Texas, Lone Star Throwdown, and then the shirt. Love that shirt that Hammer did. Then you kind of go, okay, then boom, that weekend you get shot, not stock. John Jackson shoots it, boom, cover. The good guys love that you got. So you've had this awesome run. Runs that we haven't really seen many of these style runs. In terms of the success. And to your point, you got to ride that wave because we always know there's new stuff coming. But I tell you, as a friend, as a colleague in the scene, man, I really commend you for the commitment that you've had. It's a lot of money, it's a lot of time, and this year again has just been a great year for you. So keep doing what you're doing, and just know that we got your back always.
Oh, I appreciate that. Thank you.
No doubt.
But back to the podcast. With doing something every weekend, I like to come home after work, spend time with my wife. So I try to do the podcast, take a weekend and do it. And as you know, there's editing involved and things with a podcast other than just sitting down and recording with somebody. So I do plan on coming out with another episode. We'll get done with SEMA and I will take a break from doing Datsun truck show things, car show things, and I will have another episode coming out. So there you go.
Hell yeah, doggy. Well, love hearing it. You can look up on Instagram. If you're not already following the big homie, if you type in Billy Bob, you're going to see Billy Bob _who, and then Billy Bob the podcast. Please consider going out there, checking out the photos. If nothing else, look at the Datsun, the amazing truck. It's going to be at SEMA. We're going to be taking some cool, unique photos, maybe some 360 photos as well. We'll be posting those on Instagram, but the 360s will go on Facebook, of course. But Billy Bob, dude, tip of the cap to you and all the colleagues and the homies and the club mates and whatnot. Keep doing what you're doing. We're going to wrap this one up, and we'll see you next week under the lights in Vegas, dude. Cannot wait to slap hands again.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Stay on the rise, my brother.
All right, we'll talk to you later.
All right, everyone, have a safe weekend. We at you. We'll hit you guys next week with a new episode. Be safe. Don't forget to tell your friends and family about our Lifestyle Podcast. Got you.